Hello, my name is Ed Frawley. My wife and I own Leerburg. Normally I would answer a question from our Ask Cindy portal on the front of Leerburg.com where people write in questions, and people don't have to be customers of Leerburg to ask a question, and we answer it almost every other day. Now, this one is about the foundation for the recall exercise. And the reason I put it in there because I'm pulling this video on the foundation right out of my basic dog obedience course. And we will put the URL at the end of this video for basic dog obedience. And the reason I'm going to put this video in here is that new dog trainers need to know that the most important command that you can teach your dog is to come when called. Because if you don't have a good recall, you're playing with your dog's life. You could easily have a cat run out in the road and your dog go out and chase it and get killed by a car. I know that happened to me when I was in high school. And it's been something I've lived with and thought about for my whole life. But I got to make it very clear, I'm putting this in here because it's the foundation of the recall. It's not advanced recall. Anybody that tells you that you can go to an 8-week dog training course and get a dog trained to come every single time when you call them, they're kidding you, they're kidding themselves, they don't have enough experience. So in this course, it's the foundation. We have an intermediate dog training course that I did, and that's the middle part of training the dogs to come when called. But the off-leash recalls is advanced training. And I have a video just designed for advanced training that has hours of information in it. And I make it very, very clear. Don't kid yourself that you're going to go to an 8-week course anywhere, or you're going to send your dog off for training anywhere for 8 weeks and have him come back and be able to come under high levels of distraction. It's not going to happen. But watch this video. It expands on this concept. And then if you like what you see, you can go to our website and read more about basic dog obedience. In this segment, we're going to talk about the foundation for a good off-leash recall. Now, before we go into the training on this, I need to explain that training an off-leash recall is a progression that goes through basic dog obedience, it goes through intermediate level dog obedience, and it's finished in advanced dog obedience. Training the recall is very easy for a new trainer to get ahead of themselves in their training and end up causing problems. We just teach the dog how to do what the recall command is. We teach it motivationally. We teach it with recall games. When we then move on into the intermediate level, that's when we start to introduce more distractions during the recall, and we also start to layer in corrections when we know that the dog knows what the recall command is and they start to need a little bit of help to get to them. I have to say here that having a reliable off-leash recall is one of the most important things that you need to train your dog. It's something that if the dog doesn't have it, he can get killed by running in front of a car. And if you've experienced that like I have, it gets locked into your memory and you don't fool around. It's also something that new trainers can very easily jump ahead on. We finish the recall with remote collars. Now, this doesn't mean that a brand new trainer should go out and buy a top-of-the-line remote collar and strap it on his dog's neck and take him outside when he thinks he knows the recall, call the dog and shock him. That is not the way to do it. That's a way of setting your training back, if not permanently, many, many weeks or months. We're going to show you how to gradually layer your training in small steps together until you get into your advanced training, and we're going to show you how to layer the remote collar stimulation on the recall with your leash. And frankly, most of the time, the training that we do with remote collars is low-level stimulation. By that I mean, most of the time, the stimulation is so low that humans don't even feel it. Remote collars are the greatest tool that's ever been invented. They're also the most abused tool. But when they're used correctly, they're the greatest tool that there is. Because most of the time, by the time we get to the point where we're using a remote collar, rather than think of it as a shock,
that hurts the dog. More than anything, it's, hey, pay attention. Come on, get over here. It's just redirecting the dog to give us the kind of behavior that we want. Remember, the purpose of a correction is not to punish the dog. The purpose of a correction with a remote collar is not to punish the dog. The purpose is to do what we have to do to cause the dog to give us the kind of behavior that we want. So, to state the whole thing again, in this course, we're going to teach you how to introduce the recall command to your dog in a motivational method with games and food rewards. And then in the intermediate course, then we'll add more and more distractions and we'll layer in leash corrections. And then finally, we're going to finish the whole thing off with a remote collar.